like jealousy. Why would I ever be jealous of anyone? Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm about to talk about something so controversial that I am nervous. But I want to speak on it. I want to speak on this topic, and I just want to get it out there and get this video because it's a calling on my heart to do so. And we're just gonna get it done regardless. Hey YouTube fam, welcome to my channel. As you can probably see from the title of this video, I want to talk today about a topic that's a little bit controversial, but it's also real life and real life emotions and feelings that people feel. Me especially, I've personally experienced this, and I've had to learn how to navigate these emotions and cope with them and move past them. Today we're going to talk about pregnancy jealousy while trying to conceive or experiencing infertility. This is something that I don't usually see anyone talking about, but it's real. It's so real, and it happens, and it's absolutely normal and okay if you have felt a little jealous towards someone who is pregnant and probably living out the dream that you hope and aspire to have. And it's normal and it's completely okay to feel that way. What is important though is to learn how to harness these emotions, how to navigate them, and how to move past them. In my personal experience, it didn't, well, let me take it back. In my personal experience, where I've noticed this emotion popping up was back, I'd say in 2018, after Trevor and I got married. And here's how it happens. Here's the thing. No one intentionally goes about trying to be jealous of anyone. No one that I know about, at least, or no one with good intention goes about trying to be jealous of anyone, but it happens. It happens. So my first experience with profound jealousy, or me noticing the emotion, was back in 2018. I'm scrolling on Facebook. Trevor and I are newly married, and I come across this pregnancy announcement for a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine that I have on Facebook. And it was triggering to me in the moment. And for several reasons that it was triggering for me is because, one, we had recently gotten married. I think we weren't even married for a year as yet. We were focusing on our goals. We were putting off starting our family. And I'm really trying to focus. I don't know what phase in my cycle I was in that caused these feelings to come up all of a sudden inside of me. And I had to take a step back and be like, whoa, Sarah, is this really you? Because these emotions do not align with your core values. They do not. This is not who I am, and this is not who I want to be as an individual. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So I had to take some time, feel what I needed to feel, process what I needed to process, and then move past it safely and appropriately. So what I chose to do in that moment was I chose to actually write down all of my feelings, exactly how I'm feeling. And I'm really good at writing down my feelings. So I went into my little Google Docs and I wrote everything down in there, exactly how I feel, exactly what happened, why I feel this way. And one thing about me with my writing is that while I'm writing, I start to comfort myself and reassure myself that, hey, this is okay, and reassure myself that, you know what, this is not how I want to feel. This is not me. I am not going to be raining on someone's parade. I'm not going to be a pawn of the devil here right now. This is bad, Sarah. Like, we need to switch it up. It's okay to feel how you feel. You acknowledge it, and now you're going to move past it. I'm glad that I was able to do that and have such a positive change on a situation, like being able to positively change my outlook on the whole situation. And no, I didn't go and unfriend the person. No, I didn't block her. No, I did none of that, because I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than that, and I'm bigger than the emotions that I feel, especially like the negative emotions. I am bigger than this emotion, and this emotion is just a moment. It does not define my entire life or who I am as a person. So after that experience, I would then move on with life. I'm doing well. I'm still seeing this individual online, and I am genuinely reacting and responding to her post in a good, positive way. And I feel genuinely happy for her in the season of life that she is in, and that she's thriving and that she's doing well. She gives birth, she has a baby, everything is fine. We're still friends to this day on Facebook. Of course, she obviously knows nothing about this. And if this ever comes up, it's like, you know what, girl? I felt what I felt. I corrected myself. I moved past it, and I've never felt that way about you ever again, you know? So time goes on, and what I learned, because I got married really young. I got married when I was like 20 years old. So as you go on, I am also experiencing life, experiencing marriage, experiencing all these new feelings and emotions that come up once you get married, especially the desire to be pregnant, the desire to have a baby, the desire to build a family with your husband. It comes up, especially if it's something that you really want and like you've always wanted. You can't just push these emotions aside. So the most that what I did do is that I try to focus on the goals that Trevor and I had in advance of having a baby, and I focused and I focused, and I achieved what I needed to achieve, like all of the things on my pre-baby checklist that I have. So we get to this point now, and I meet another pregnant coworker, and she's having a baby, and I'm feeling great towards her and everything. But then this is really where I really start like analyzing, like, wait a minute, wait a second. I think we're ready to have a baby. I think we're at this point in my life, because one of the things that I never did was stop and evaluated if we've reached this point in our lives together. So Trevor and I spoke about it, and we decided that we were gonna start trying for a baby. So as the years go on, Trevor and I started trying to have a baby, and then we're starting to realize that this is not happening. And before I knew of our diagnosis or anything like that, it took us time to figure that out. It took us like 4 years to figure that out. So for those 4 years, I felt a lot of emotions, and I've had to learn how to harness these emotions. And one of the things that makes it worse when you're trying to conceive is that month after month, you're feeling like a failure. You're feeling like this is not happening for you. And to see other women just conceive naturally, and it just happened, and it was like an accident, it's a little triggering, to say the least, that these feelings do come up, and they're gonna happen. If I didn't learn to harness this emotion, I'd honestly be living a life of misery, because there's at least like 1 to 3 people having babies in my family or extended family every year. And also, I work, so I've had like at least 3 to 5 pregnant coworkers in the last year. I've watched them throughout their entire pregnancy and give birth and follow up with them and all of this stuff, and it's a lot. This is something that I could not have expected or anticipated to feel, like jealousy. Why would I ever be jealous of anyone? Why would I ever experience such a feeling or emotion that is deemed bad and negative? Why? But you know what? I've come to live and learn from my own personal experience that this is a normal and natural emotion that many women and couples experience. And I can tell you this firsthand, because it's not intentional. I'm not going around intentionally trying to feel jealous. But when you want something and you see someone have it, these feelings do arise. They do come to the surface, and it's very unpredictable, and it happens at the most unpredictable and inconvenient times ever. And a lot of the times, I can tell you, they probably do come up when I'm at work, when I'm out in public, when I'm having a good time, when I just like, oh yeah, everything's going well. And then blam, you see like a pregnant person, and this person has nothing to do with you, but it causes you to remember what you're going through, what you don't have, what you want, where you're trying to be at. And I don't know if it's just specific to this situation, I think maybe people might feel this kind of way in regards to seeing couples. Like when you're single and you see a couple and you're like, oh my God, they're so happy and everything, so blah, blah, blah. And you kind of feel a little bit in your heart that, oh my God, I wish that I can have something like that. It's similar to this. And this is something that I've had to learn to work through. I identified this emotion very early on, and I'm glad that I was able to tackle it in a positive way because I feel like it can ruin you. Jealousy can ruin you as a human being and make you into somebody that you do not want to be. Especially, I don't think jealousy aligns with anyone's core values at all. Like for me, it does not align with my core values. It does not align with who I want to be, who I'm trying to be, who I was raised to be, none of that. I've had to learn how to feel, navigate, and rewire my whole thinking process in regards to it, and especially while trying to conceive, because it's a big trigger. You are going to see it. You are going to see many pregnant women. You're going to run into pregnant women like everywhere. It was one of the things that I realized that I'm going to need to learn how to harness this emotion and harness this emotion truthfully to my core in order to move on and in order to be in public and to be around people and to survive, because it's like how am I going to run away from pregnant women? How am I? Tell me. How do you intend to do it? Seriously. So I slowly started with myself, and I started by being very truthful and honest to self. Overcoming anything starts with honesty to yourself. You have to be true to yourself. You don't owe honesty to nobody else about how you feel. Maybe your therapist, you do owe honesty to your therapist, but if you can be truthful to yourself and be like, I feel this way and I don't want to feel this way anymore, you can work on it and you can definitely overcome whatever you are feeling. So, with pregnancy jealousy, it's a trigger, and it can be a big trigger for a lot of people, especially when you're trying to conceive and it's not happening. It's been years and it's not happening, which is clearly my case, but I'm glad that I was able to overcome this emotion and I am in a good place about it, and I have always been. But regardless of me always being in a good place about it, this emotion still comes up. It rises up to the surface, and it rises up at the most inconvenient time. Remember, ladies or gentlemen, whoever is watching this video, that we have different phases in our cycles. And it depends on the phase of the cycle that you're in, that you may be able to handle this emotion very well. But if you're in that luteal phase, honey girl, no, you're probably gonna start crying. You're gonna not be able to console yourself. You're gonna feel all the feels harshly. You're probably gonna feel like this for a few days. You're probably gonna be dwelling on it for a little bit, and it's gonna take you a little longer to move past it, but it is possible. And truthfully, one of the things that helped me to move past the emotion of jealousy or feeling like envious towards people who are pregnant is that I had to literally sit back with myself and be like, yo, how would you feel if this was you? How would you feel that you are pregnant and someone is jealous of you? That's not a nice feeling. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to rank up bad karma for myself at all. So I'm like, you need to curve this, Sarah. You cannot. You're allowed to feel every single emotion. You can acknowledge it, but you need to set a timer on this needs to stop, and you're going to try to work past this. And I was able to do that, and I was able to harness this emotion. It takes a lot of work, and it's continuous work at the same time because there's constant triggers, especially with social media. It's either going to be a friend, a family member, a distant relative, some random person you have on Facebook or Instagram, or it's going to be this influencer. Because one of the things social media does is that the algorithm knows what you are looking for, what you search, what you interact with, and everything, and it's going to keep bringing more of those content. And you need to be able to identify it and heal with how you're feeling, because one of the things is that you can't run away from these difficult emotions. You can't run away from all the pregnant people when you see them. You're going to have to face them. And I think one of the things that I realized soon is that, you know what, I have sisters, I have family members, I have friends, and they're all girls, obviously. And I want to be there for them during this season of their life, even though it's going to be a trigger for me and all of that stuff. And we're trying to have a baby and it's not happening, blah, blah, blah. I want to be there for them, and I need to identify and heal these emotions so that I can be there for my friends and my family. And so far, for the last few years, I've been able to do just that. I've been able to go to their baby showers, see their babies, hold their babies, enjoy all the cuddles, and my feelings and emotions, they're not even there because I just focus on the fact that, hey, I'm getting to enjoy you and enjoy this season of life that you're in, that I hope to be in one day. And you know, with every situation there is a choice. And I honestly feel like you get to choose if this emotion is going to make you constantly feel pain or if it's going to make you feel peace. You are in control of that. Do not give the devil control of this part of your life. Say no and take back control of yourself and your body and your mind and emotion. If you choose to be jealous and envious, if you cannot harness these emotions and try to work through them and work past them, you're going to be in pain and misery, and you're going to miss out on a lot of joyous special occasions with family members and friends. And you know what, let's be real about it, people are not really forgiving of those things. As much as, you know, yeah, you might have some friends that are like, we understand, but you're going to have some that will be like, girl, I wish you put your emotions in place. More so family, you know? So I personally try to work on this as much as possible. If you choose peace, you will win. It doesn't mean that it won't hurt. It doesn't mean that you won't cry. It doesn't mean that you'll have to spend the afternoon before a baby shower sobbing, but you're going to pull yourself together and you're going to be there for your friends and family members, and you're going to have a joyous, memorable time, and you're going to be glad that you took time to heal, feel what you need to feel, and move past it and work through it. And I'm glad I was able to do this because I, you know, was able to be there for so many joyous occasions and see how everyone does everything. And I totally get that sometimes I just can't be there. There's been instances where baby showers have been canceled, or I just couldn't go, and I was like, yes, I don't have to go to this event, but I still try to be there for everyone regardless of how I feel. I still try to send a gift or something small and support them in whatever way I can, while still acknowledging my emotions and allow myself to feel what I need to feel safely, not dangerously. I was already doing so very well on my own, but I'm glad that I started therapy when I did, because I feel like it was gonna get worse, and I needed my therapist to intervene in that specific time in my life so that I could handle the next season of life even better. So if you can, go to therapy to help yourselves process these emotions that you're feeling. Let your therapist help find you healthy coping mechanisms and tools, and give you all the right tools to help you cope with the emotions that you are feeling and experiencing, and help you to navigate those things. Another thing that absolutely works is crying it out. Cry it out. And what I like to do when I'm crying it out is I'm not just crying into the void. Well, sometimes I am, but I'm crying it out, and I'm crying it out to God. Like, God, you see me, you see these emotions that I'm feeling, and you know that I do not want to feel this way. Please help me. Please make me feel whole. Please make me feel comforted in this situation that I'm experiencing right now. And honestly, I feel so calm after saying that. And once I get a good cry, I start to feel better. I also do know that one of the reasons why I was able to harness these emotions is because growing up, I have been exposed to my aunts and uncles who were unable to conceive. But regardless of that fact, that they were unable to conceive kids, biological children of their own, and they never adopted or anything. Like, they always treated me like I was everything in the world. They never made me feel any way different or anything. They loved me wholeheartedly. They're like my second parents. If anything is wrong with my parents, while I was growing up and I needed someone to be there for me, or my parents needed someone to be there for me, my aunts and uncles were there for me. And I'm so thankful that I've had that, and I've had these behaviors mirrored to me wonderfully. I was never around anyone that had a hard time processing these emotions. They mirrored exactly to me what I should be doing in this season and phase of my life. They loved me wholeheartedly, regardless of, come to think of it now that I'm an adult, regardless of if my aunts were seeing negative pregnancy tests, or if they had a miscarriage or something, they still loved me and loved me wholeheartedly. And I hope to be that kind of light and that kind of person in society that people can say, you know what, regardless of how Sarah feels, at the end of the day, she shows up and she is wonderful. And I don't even know how she does it, and I can say, girl, I don't know how I do it either. But I guess it was mirrored to me so very well that I was able to carry on in such a wonderful way. And I'm so thankful to these individuals. These emotions are very overwhelming and difficult to live through in real life situations. But I promise you, and I can assure you, that if you have the courage and the strength in you to try to work past this, you will find that there is so much joy beyond all of these emotions. And one of the things that I've learned is that the devil loves to keep you in isolation, and he loves to keep you in these difficult emotions and difficult seasons of life. And he loves if you can spend all day dwelling on the fact that you're jealous, and if he can keep you there, and if he can keep you stuck right there, oh my God, he loves it. He is glorified when you feel this kind of way. So when you intentionally work towards being a better person and an individual, it's wonderful. And if you are struggling with feeling a little jealous or so, I just want you to know that I am proud of you wherever you are right now. I do want you to do a little better, and I want you to pace yourself at it. Take your time, take me as an example, and slowly go at it. See the good in the situation, go after it. Constantly tell yourself and remind yourself that these feelings do not align with your core values, and you want to be better. You want to do better. Lean on God. Lean on God to be your strength, to be your guide. Cry to Him. Scream at Him. Let Him know exactly how you're feeling. Ask Him to take the feelings away from you, and He will. Sometimes it takes time, but you'll probably come back and tell me, you know what, Sarah, I did that. I did scream out to God and tell Him, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And He took that emotion away from me for the time being. And there there's joy beyond it. And I want to encourage you to work through it, work through whatever difficult emotions you are feeling, whether it's in this situation or in another. Try to work through it, and you'll feel wonderful. It's always a wonderful feeling when you can work through something so big and something that you think that you can't even get past. For watching this video, I'll see you in another one. Bye for now.